I'm David. For 2 years, my life was ruled by a man who took pleasure in breaking my spirit. My boss, Richard, was a textbook micromanager, a corporate bully who demanded 80-hour weeks, tracked my bathroom breaks, and took credit for every single one of my ideas. But I took it. I swallowed my pride, stared at the floor, and apologized for mistakes I didn't make. Why? Because my 7-year-old daughter, Lily, was waiting for a bone marrow transplant. My company's premium health insurance was her literal lifeline. Richard knew this, and he used it as a leash. On a rainy Tuesday, I was called into his office. I knew what was coming. I reached into my pocket, subtly tapped my phone screen, and turned on the voice recorder. I just wanted evidence to show HR. I had no idea that simple act was about to change my life forever. The door slammed shut behind me. Richard didn't ask me to sit. He threw a folder across his desk, spilling papers everywhere. It was my major tech restructuring proposal, a project I'd stayed up until 3 a.m. completing. "This is garbage, David," he sneered, his voice dripping with venom. "But I'm going to use it anyway, under my name, of course." I felt a spark of defiance. "Richard, that's my work." I spent weeks. He cut me off, stepping so close I could smell his stale coffee. "Your work? You don't own anything here. You're a replaceable cog. And let's be honest, David, you aren't going to do a damn thing about it. Because if you raise your voice, if you even look at me wrong, you're fired. And we both know what happens to your sick little girl's medical coverage if you lose this job." He smiled, a cruel, satisfied smirk. He was weaponizing my dying daughter to force me into submission. My blood ran ice cold, then boiled with a rage I had never felt before. I squeezed the phone in my pocket, holding back tears of sheer fury. I didn't say a word. I just nodded, took the folder, and walked out. That night, I sat in the hospital parking lot, staring at my steering wheel. I listened to the recording. Hearing his voice say those words about Lily cut through me like a physical blade. I wept. I felt like a failure as a father, unable to protect my family from a monster. 2 days later, the company's CEO and the entire board of directors flew in for a global quarterly meeting. Richard was slated to present his groundbreaking restructuring plan, my plan. As the board members took their seats, Richard stood at the podium, beaming with unearned pride. He began his presentation, soaking in their nods of approval. I stood at the back of the room, my heart hammering against my ribs. My hands were freezing. If this failed, I would be blacklisted from the industry. Lily would lose her treatment. But looking at Richard's smug face, I knew I couldn't live on my knees anymore. I walked straight to the AV console at the back, plugged my phone into the main house audio system, and hit play. The room went dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Richard's face instantly drained of all color, turning a sickly shade of gray. He lunged toward the console, but the CEO raised a hand, stopping him in his tracks. The recording played through to the very end. The CEO slowly turned to Richard. "Pack your things," he said quietly. "You are terminated, effective immediately, and our legal team will be in touch." Then, the CEO looked at me. "David, come up here. Explain your presentation to us." With my voice trembling but growing stronger with every word, I walked to the front of the room. I didn't just present the plan. I laid out a vision. By the end, the board wasn't just impressed. They stood up and applauded. Today, I sit in Richard's old office. I was promoted to regional director, with a salary that secured Lily the absolute best private care available. But the true victory didn't happen in that boardroom. It happened 3 weeks ago, in a sterile hospital room, when the doctor walked in and told us Lily's transplant was a perfect match. As I held my healthy, smiling daughter in my arms, I looked at my phone on the bedside table. Sometimes, standing up to a bully doesn't just save your dignity, it saves your life. Thank you for listening. Till the next story.